Hello you guys, alexab.alchemy here for your weekly card pull. Today I'm going to be doing a reading actually for the entire month of May. This specific reading is channeled for all of my Leo, so if you are a Leo, Sun, Moon, Rising, and or North Node, this one is for you. I do have other videos out for other signs, so if you haven't already, please make sure that at the end of this video you go check those out for your big three. Today I'm going to be doing a pull from 3 different decks. I have 2 Oracle and 1 Tarot deck, and we'll see what wants to come out in what order, but I'm feeling called to start out with my Crystal Spirits Oracle deck. So the first question, for those of you who have never been on a reading with me before, welcome. The first question that I like to ask in any reading is what guidance or advice would be useful, maybe what perspectives would be useful for you in this upcoming month. So this might indicate some things that you can expect, energies that you might expect to be navigating, also like perspectives and just general ways to approach things that might become useful throughout the course of the May, I almost said the May season. I guess that kind of works, but not really. Okay, there's a lot of cards flying out right now. we're gonna go with it. I feel like you guys are gonna get a lot of cards, but I'm gonna try to simplify it as much as possible. So my dear Leos, this one's come out too. Okay, beautiful. The first 2 cards that are really sticking out to me right now, I have Lapis Lazuli in reverse, so upside down, and then I have Labradorite in the upright position. Now, honestly, Labradorite is one of my absolute favorite cards in this entire deck. I absolutely love this card. Primary message with Labradorite is to release any need you have for certainty and to make room for magic instead. So any place in your life where you are clinging to this need for knowing and this need to know like what's going to happen and how things are going to unfold, it's completely valid to want to know the direction that things are going to go in. This month, however, you are also being challenged to embrace the magic that can happen when you don't necessarily have all of the answers. If you knew everything, then it would block the approaches that you could take, and right now you're not meant to be blocked. Right now you are meant to be very open. We are in Taurus season, just as a reminder in general for the collective. We are in Taurus season. We will be moving into Gemini season in the middle of May. So also we have eclipse season, and so a lot of shadows might be coming up. And Mercury is retrograde until the middle of May, so you may notice that communication is a little bit tougher than usual. Excuse me. You might find on a more personal level that your narratives might be challenging you, or your relationship to yourself in your mind specifically. And when we move into Gemini season in the middle of May, end of May, that is when you're going to have opportunities to work a little bit more closely with the realm of thought. However, in Taurus season, we're asked to ground, to figure out what makes our life more sustainable. So just know that collectively, that's the energy that we're all kind of working through right now. And for you, it looks like with Labradorite, sustainability is going to come to some degree from a place of being willing to let things unfold naturally and allow things to be, for lack of a better word, magical. So this card is card number 29, and then as noted, Lapis Lazuli, card number 30. So we have 2 cards in a row. Lapis Lazuli, this card is, I'm gonna just tweak it, thank you. I don't know why I said thank you. So Lapis Lazuli, this card is all about your inner vision and your inner experience. I did pull this again in reverse, so upside down, which is implying that there's a lot here within the self that you're going to be working with. The realm of other people is important, but anytime this card comes up, especially in the reverse, it is definitely asking you to spend some time getting to know your own truth, especially from a spiritual perspective. This is kind of the card of enlightenment and meditation, so I definitely would recommend, if there's any chaos in your life, to take some time out, ironically, for meditation. And the reason I say ironically is the next card that's coming up is Petrified Wood, which has everything to do with patience and your relationship to time. Whenever Petrified Wood comes up, there is a need for you to have a level of patience. Again, I feel like with the Labradorite, I feel like both of these, my dear Leos, are asking for you to ground into the safety that comes with not knowing. I know that sounds very counterintuitive because a lot of us want to know things, but there's also a safety in not knowing. And I feel like that is an adventure. We have Green Aventurine, which is all about new opportunities, good luck, and good fortune. I feel like this is a new opportunity for you to see life through the lens of things not needing to happen and you not needing to know everything that's happening right when it's happening or before it happens. Yeah, so allowing things to be magical and different, potentially different than what you are expecting. Great adventuring also comes up when there is a time for adventure or new doors opening. So a lot of new doors are opening. I also pulled Apache Tears, which has, this one's all about letting go of grief. So I feel like some of you, I mean, we did just finish a 12-year cycle. We moved into Aries season last month. So I feel like a lot of you are closing out old chapters. You're closing out old things. Throw away the key. You don't need that shit. Like, let go of that, because there are new opportunities coming your way. It may feel, if at times it feels heavy, or it feels like you're letting go of something and it's sad and there's a grief with that, just know that anything that you're letting go of is also making room for something new to come in. And maybe you don't know what that thing is. Maybe that thing is going to take time. Maybe you're feeling all of these things already. Maybe you're feeling like something is culminating, but you don't know where or what or how, and if that's the case, that's okay. Your calling right now is to get in touch with yourself and your spiritual truth and what makes you feel connected, not only to yourself, not even only to source or God or spirit or whatever, the universe, whatever you want to identify that as, nature, but connected also to other people. So, and in knowing yourself, that actually opens you up to connect to other people. So there's definitely this balance of like taking time and space away from the world, away from external influences, to really get in touch with who you are and what you want. And in that process, you might have to realize, you probably will realize if you haven't already, or you've already let go of these things, but there are things that are going to have to be let go of in order for you to welcome in the new. But the good thing, the exciting thing, the encouraging thing is that the new is really, really exciting. So definitely something to look excuse me, to look forward to. I did also pull for you guys Dumortierite. So we're in Taurus season, which again is all about sustainability and grounding. This card is a very earth-driven element, honestly. Dumortierite, this card comes up anytime you need to clear space, clear clutter, make lists for yourself, get organized. This is a really good time for spring cleaning. If you haven't already done that, make sure you make some time for spring cleaning, mentally, physically, your space, energetically, emotionally, everything. This is a really good time for you to take the opportunity to get organized, especially in the first 2 weeks of May, Taurus season. Take advantage of that energy that we are in collectively. It will benefit you so much, my dear Leos. It will benefit you to put some effort into grounding yourself and into planning things. Something I love to think about when it comes to like the natural elements. Leo is fire. This is a fire energy. You guys are carrying a beautiful fire energy. When we are in Taurus season or any kind of earth sign season, earth, like wood, is what fuels fire. You need earth to create the fire. And so if you want to bring forward that radiance and that shine, you also have to get grounded. You have to put in some level of practicality. So this card implies this need for balance between your practicality and your fire, your passion, your spiritual truth, etc. Crystal clear quartz, also clear quartz, crystal clear quartz, tomato, tomato, also came up. So this one's all about amplification and growth. So really, this time is also a time for you to grow. Internally, externally, there are new things, again, with Dumortierite. Like, there are seeds that you have planted. There are opportunities that you have right now. You have the opportunity to move into those and to grow into those. And I also pulled for you guys Big Spite, which is kind of like the go ahead, move forward card. So there's like a huge energy right now in this pile, in these piles, that is encouraging you to like take the next step, move forward, start planning, start doing things. I feel like if you've had projects that you've wanted to try, or vacation trips you've wanted to go on, things you've always wanted to do that you've kind of just been like putting off, and you're like, I don't know, maybe I'll do it, maybe I won't. My dear Leos, I feel like now is a really good time to start taking action on those things. It doesn't mean you have to go do it right away. Taurus is about sustainability, so you don't want to just like jump at it and be like, okay, let's go. Like, I feel like you've had enough time to really connect with what you want. I mean, lapis lazuli in reverse, maybe you need to clarify that a little bit, or take a minute to really solidify that. But I feel like at the end of the day, and you know what you want to move into. You have these beautiful opportunities. You have these things that you're clearing away and getting rid of. These opportunities are amplified and they are ready for you to take advantage of them. Yes, they take time. Maybe you don't know how it's going to look, and if that's the case, that is okay. Just know, like, it's okay. You have permission to start taking action once you've planted those seeds and decided what you want to move forward with. And you have all the tools that you need. Like Demartrite, you have the tools that you need from a practical standpoint to put things into play. Excuse me. I'm so sorry, I'm sick. And to make things happen. So do not discount that. Finally, Lithium Quartz in reverse. This card is all about harmonious connections. In the reverse, there is a level of your relationship to yourself. I feel like some of you, maybe you've had a hard relationship to yourself. Card number 33 also, if you dabble with angel numbers, that is there. I do feel like because it was in reverse, my Leos, I feel like some of you, I don't want to say you've lost your fire, but I feel like some of you, this fiery piece of yourself maybe hasn't been coming through as strongly. Maybe that is something that you've kind of lost sight of. And maybe that's not the case. Maybe that doesn't resonate at all. But if it does, or if it feels like a piece of you is invested in or stuck in something else, or stuck in the past, or a past situation, a past relationship, a past job, something that's not currently present, but it's commanding your experience, I feel like your willingness to spend some time like with yourself on a spiritual perspective is also, because these were the two cards in reverse, I feel like they're interconnected. I feel like it's also going to open up channels for you to have a more joyful connection with yourself. And in turn, the way you relate to yourself is going to be reflected in the way that you relate to other people. So there are so many like just beautiful opportunities for you to, again, let go of those things of the past, let go of those things that just don't serve you. You will have to kind of walk through some shit in order to do that potentially. It might take some time. It might take different perspectives. That's totally, completely okay, my Leos. Like, that is kind of part of the process. Okay, I feel called to like pull out one more from this deck to see what else. And there she is. Oh, okay, cool. Fluorite in reverse. So this card's all about like clarity of thought. Anytime fluorite comes up, it's implying that maybe things have felt a little scattered. Maybe your mind has been like jumbled or pulled in a bunch of different directions. Maybe you're just not feeling super grounded from the mental perspective. This is definitely, I feel like, second 2 weeks of May. I'm feeling like the grounding and the meditation and everything that's first 2 weeks of May while we're in Taurus season. I think this is more end of May, so Gemini season, that you're gonna have opportunities to shift your narrative, shift your perspective, shift your way of thinking, and to consciously release any like cluttered thinking, any distractions, any things that aren't really serving you. Even if they once served you, maybe they don't now. So you'll have really beautiful opportunities to evaluate and reevaluate what you want for your life moving forward in this chapter. So I am going to pull a couple of cards from my Numerology deck to see if there's any other clarification. I feel like I want to ask another specific question for you guys. What tools will be useful? Okay. There we go. What tools will be useful for you, my dear Leos, in this upcoming month, the month of May? Okay, first tool, in reverse, have faith in your dreams. Okay, so waxing crescent moon. Some of you, I feel like there are some goals that you have, and maybe you're doubting yourself or your abilities to reach those goals. Maybe you've had experiences in the last few months to few years that have kind of like dampened your perception of what is, good Lord, possible, what is likely. And I feel like one of the tools that's going to be helpful, honestly, is your sense of faith, which I feel like is part of where the spiritual cards are coming through. The cards that are encouraging you to meditate and get in touch with yourself. I feel like there's definitely power. There's a lot of power in your spiritual journey and your connection to spirit. So I definitely recommend spending some time with that. Got a lot of cards in reverse. Okay, so new moon in reverse, new start is coming. So I kind of feel like this has already come your way. I feel like a lot of you are already in this new cycle, whether or not you like it. It is there. You are in it. And there's a lot of really powerful energy with that. Okay, I'm gonna just go through the other ones. Show the world the real you, full moon in Aquarius in reverse as well. Commitment is being tested, first quarter moon, and communication is key, new moon in Gemini. Okay, so I asked about what tools you're gonna need. Let me just delineate these for you. I feel like the first tool you're gonna need is faith. Faith in yourself, faith in your journey, faith in your capabilities, and your spiritual connection. I don't know how else to say that. Your spiritual connection to life, to others, to yourself. There's a level of faith that's going to be like really important for you. So whatever you have to do to create that faith or to solidify that faith, I highly recommend that you spend some time nourishing that piece of your existence. Commitment is another thing that you're going to be required to have, not necessarily to a person, place, or a thing. Maybe it's yourself that you're being committed to. But there is a level of like challenge that I feel like you're going to experience. And one of the tools you're going to need is, again, with faith, like you have to believe in yourself and your ability to commit to things. You have to believe in your ability to follow through when you say you're going to do something. You have to believe in your ability to make things happen. And that belief system, when you have that belief, that's when you're going to see those things coming through. A lot of people are like, oh, well, if I do X and then I see the results, then that's proof. And that's what I need in order to believe it. But the true definition of faith is trusting that when you step into a certain energetic or a certain level, when you step up to a certain level, you are going to see the results as a result, because it's ultimately the external world is reflecting your internal world. If you make a shift in here in terms of what you believe is possible, that's when you see it reflected back to you. And when you try to manipulate the outside world or put pawns into certain places or move things around externally to create a sort of like internal sense of security, that's when things may not go accordingly, because you are ultimately coming from a place of doubt and not from a place of faith. I'm not saying all faith is rewarded. I'm not saying just because you have faith, things are going to go the way that you want, but that energetic of faith will significantly impact the outcome of events and also the way that you approach it. Like the way that you show up when you believe in something versus the way that you show up when you think something is doomed to fail. It has an effect, which I think is where that Labradorite card came in. The one about like releasing the need for certainty and making room for magic instead. I feel like some of you, the obsession that you have with needing to know the answers is your way of trying to create a level of faith, which is completely fair. It's normal. It's human. We all do that. And I feel like you're being challenged, again, with this new cycle. I feel like you're being challenged in this chapter to maybe make space for having a level of faith without proof. And I don't mean that in a religious way, and I don't even necessarily mean that in a spiritual way. I just mean that in the way that you are relating to your life. Other tools that you're going to need, a willingness to share yourself honestly and to be forthright about who you are and how you feel. Aquarius, okay. Aquarius is, it's an air sign, and there's a lot of mental energy that's required or that's involved with Aquarius. It can also be a little bit dissociative sometimes. So having been pulled in reverse, I feel like some of you may be dissociating or trying to dissociate. Some of you may be trying to escape your responsibilities or escape commitments. That card's coming back again, which is, again, none of this is to shame you. All of this is just simply like a matter of perspective of what's going to help you guys grow. And finally, a last tool, communication, is going to be really, really important for you guys in this upcoming chapter. Sorry, I really needed a sip. So New Moon and Gemini, I think I had pulled this one in reverse. I honestly can't even remember at this point. But New Moon and Gemini, Gemini again is the second half of May. So communication is going to be a really, really big theme. Again, Mercury is retrograde until the middle of May. So not that communication is impossible, but there may be some more challenges with it. Maybe there are things in your mind. Like Gemini is not just about communication person to person. It's also, it's the transportation of things from point A to point B. So traveling and anything that involves like that movement component is something that you're going to want to be conscientious of. And there may be delays with that. There may be things getting in the way of that or challenges with that. Also within your mind, maybe you feel like your mental synapses aren't firing quite the same. You're struggling to think of new ideas, and you may not be, but a lot of like Mercury retrograde time, because Mercury is ruled by air signs, there is some potential at this time for just challenges with the way that things are communicated. So just know that if you're struggling in the first half of May, that's completely okay. As we move into the second half, again, we move into Gemini season, I feel like a lot of that lack of clarity will clear up. It will make room. It will make space for you to kind of move forward and to allow these things to unfold. Again, fluorite was in reverse, so there might be, again, some challenges with that process at the beginning, but ultimately I do feel like it's opening up space for you to speak your mind and to speak it clearly. I'm getting amplification. The word amplification is coming through really strongly with the clear quartz. So whatever you have to feel, to say, will be capable of being amplified. You just got to give it a little bit of time and have a little bit of patience in the process, my dear Leos. I do feel called to pull one card from the tarot deck, and then I will close out for you guys. So, my dear Leos, what does tarot have to say for you guys? Is there anything else that you should keep in mind that might be helpful for this upcoming chapter? Okay, my dear Leos, so for your tarot pull, it looks like there are a lot of new ideas, new opportunities, especially in the way of finances or material abundance that are coming through. It also looks like there might be some challenges in the emotional realm, excuse me, or in terms of your perseverance, and I think all of those things are really beautiful. So first thing I have for you guys is the Page of Pentacles in the upright position. This card implies new possibilities for material wealth. This also includes new ideas, there's like a very new young energy when it comes to certain projects and anything that is involved in the material realm, specifically projects and finances. So there are a lot of opportunities that you guys experience. This card doesn't necessarily promise success or failure in that regard. It is simply saying that there are opportunities that are opening itself up to you, which is amazing. Something to keep in mind is the way that you are relating to that. So I did also pull for you guys a Knight of Swords in reverse. In reverse, this card can imply a little bit of like restlessness, this kind of like fight or flight, but like flightiness, like from one thing to the next, to the next, to the next, to the next. I feel like some of you may need to take a little bit of time out for yourself and for your self-care. This card, so this one and the petrified wood that I had pulled earlier, I feel like both of them are sort of encouraging you to be willing to look at your relationship to time and to allow things to be slowed down. Again, Taurus season is a great time to slow down, so take advantage of this Taurus season because I think it's actually going to really help you to put things in place that you need to be able to actually become successful, especially in that financial respect. I did also pull for you guys the Nine of Wands in reverse and the Page of Wands in reverse, so a lot of reverse Wands cards. Nine of Wands, I love this image, honestly. So if you look closely, you'll see that he is kind of like clinging to this one wand, and anytime I see this card in the reverse, a lot of what I think about is this like clinging to potentially like resources, but ultimately I feel like in this time the thing that you really need to be, I don't want to say clinging to, but the thing that you need to like really harness and that you're gonna want to bank on is not finances, it's not the material outcome, it's not the pentacles, so to speak. Right now, your character and your perseverance and your sense of strength, like that's what you want to be banking on right now. That's what's going to help to give you the strength to get through this time or this period, and to be successful with it. Yeah, and you know, again, Page of Wands, like there are a lot of new opportunities, there are a lot of new possibilities, and that can be really, really exciting. So as long as you don't get lost in the sauce with it, I feel like there's a lot of really good opportunities. And finally, most encouraging, I pulled for you guys the Sun card. This is my absolute favorite card, I think, of the whole tarot deck, probably. I love this card. Anytime this card comes up, it implies this level of like jovial happiness, good times ahead, clarity in like the most bright and life-giving of ways. So for you guys right now, I do feel like there is a lot of livelihood coming through this chapter. I feel like this is a really beautiful time. It may take time again, but similar to, you know, the Labradorite card, I don't know why these are all in reverse. The Sun and Labradorite, I feel like both of these are kind of implying this like amazing magic and this really wonderful experience that you have at your fingertips that you can completely bank on and take advantage of. I do feel like this is a mental process. You know, we have the fluorite, we have the wands cards. I feel like there's a lot of mental energy that is going to be involved here. But for you to really like reap the benefits of this, your spiritual spirituality, your spiritual connection to yourself, and also your willingness to like make plans with the Demortrite, willingness to take action on things is ultimately what's going to make this a really potentially successful and life-giving. I'm getting more than successful. I'm getting a life-giving month for you. So do enjoy this month, this beautiful May, this season of spring, my dear Leos. If you have questions on anything, if you want further clarification, if you want a supplementary reading, please reach out and let me know. You can find me everywhere here, Instagram, TikTok, everywhere at alexab.alchemy. I do these readings every single week, so make sure that you tap the subscribe button, like this video, give me a little thumbs up at the very least to let me know if it resonated. It helps to keep me going and motivates me to keep creating this kind of content. And finally, please share this video with anyone that you think might benefit from it if you know anyone. So I love you guys so much, my dear Leos. Thank you so much for sharing your time with me. I know this was a little bit of a lengthier reading today, but there is a lot that the cards wanted to say. So I hope this was helpful. I will see you guys on the next one, and I wish you a beautiful rest of your week. Cheers.